Good evening, and welcome to Bring It to the Table on a Friday night. As I always say, get to the table with a glass of wine, milk, juice, water, whatever your taste buds call for, and relax. It's going to be very interesting tonight. Call all the men that you know, boyfriend, significant other, husband, and have them get to the table, because it's going to be very, very interesting coming from a man's standpoint of view. If you want to call in, the request line is 310-910-9676, extension 1. Again, 310-910-9676, extension 1. I pray that you've had a great week, and now we're heading into Friday and Saturday and Sunday, and I'm quite sure you have some plans. But whatever your plans are, be careful, be safe, mask up, and enjoy family and friends. Or either just kick back and relax. Because if you've had a hard week, a rough week, you just want some downtime. As you know, hour goes by real fast, and as they say, when you're having fun, hey, it's time to turn the lights out and take another step. As I said, tonight's going to be very interesting. I have someone here with me tonight. We are very close. We've been close for years, and it's amazing when you find someone that you've been knowing for a long time, and as you know them, sometimes you drift apart because your lives take a different toll, but you still are very close in spirit, and you still have that closeness. And this young man that's in here in the studio with me tonight, we've been friends since we were like 7 years old. Yes, I said 7. And it's been great. We lost contact for a minute, but we came back, and it's just been like we were never lost that contact. His mom and my sisters worked together. They were very close, and our families wind up being very close. But I'm not going to do a whole lot of that, but because I want this young man to tell us about his story, his journey. And as I always say, everybody has a story, everybody has a journey. But how they choose to tell their story and how they choose to deal with their journey, that's entirely up to them. But as you know, we just came out of October being Cancer Month, breast cancer, I should say. But I feel like this: cancer has no month, because you can get it anytime. You never know what a phone call going to bring. It's going to be a friend or a loved one that's going to tell you they have cancer. It doesn't have to be breast cancer, but cancer comes in all colors and in all areas of one's life and one's body. And tonight we have a young man, like I said, is real close to me. He's like a brother, because we've been knowing each other since we were 7 years old. He had breast cancer. And yes, I said breast cancer. You don't hear about it often, but he has a story, he has a journey. And I'm going to let him tell you his story and his journey when he first was diagnosed with breast cancer. Hi, Ollie. Hi, I call you Ollie. His name is Charles Crowley, but I call him Ollie, just like you call me Glow. Cookie, Glow. Yeah, whatever it is. But how are you?
I'm doing fine.
You're doing good? I am so happy you're here with me tonight.
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. And it's a good feeling, because we, like I said, we've been friends. We've been knowing each other since we're like 7 years old.
I'm telling you, it's over 60 years.
Yeah. I mean, way over time, And your mother and father was a jewel. Your mom was a jewel. And your dad, too. Now, your dad lived to be what, 90?
97.
97 years old. Baby, he was a humdinger. I tell you, he didn't let no grass grow up under his feet, baby.
Oh, yeah,
And he was busy, and I mean, he just was busy. And
his life, though.
Yes, he did. He lived his life the way he wanted to live his life.
That's how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, but very respectable, very loving. But hey, I mean, hey, he was a man. I tell you, and you look just like him too.
Thank you.
No wonder you just like you living your life too, huh? I love it. I want you to tell our listeners out there, how was it for you? You were going on with your life. You were married.
Yeah.
You had been in the service. You had your daughter.
Yes.
You know,
Had my son.
Yeah, just you're right. You had both of
Yes.
them at that time.
At that time.
As I said, life was good.
It was good.
It was good.
I was working at UCLA. I had been there, I don't know how many years or so. I think I was around 50.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember one day I felt like a little lump in my breast, but it was nothing to me. So I went to the doctor. They told me, don't worry about it. It's nothing. So for 7 months, I went back and forth and tripping. And I went back to the doctor again. I said, doctor, this thing's bothering me. So he tells me, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to send you over to the surgeon and have a biopsy.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to the surgeon, I have the biopsy, and lo and behold, it's cancer.
When he said that to you, where was your mind? What did you do?
You know, that was a long time ago. That was March of 1998. Okay. And I remember, I'll never forget that day. The doctor looking at me, telling me you have cancer. And he says, you need to go home and get all your business in order.
Wow.
He said, it could be maybe a year, 10 years or what, but you definitely have cancer. So I remember leaving that doctor's office. I remember getting to my car. And I remember the first thing I did was blame God.
Wow. And it's amazing that you said, because I know you knew the Lord.
Yeah, I knew him.
Yeah, I know you knew the Lord. So,
I've been saved.
wow.
My whole life had changed.
Because not only that, I understand you were the fastest typer out there at UCLA. I understand that. You were the fastest typer out there at UCLA.
Yes.
And you were good on your job.
70 words a minute at
Yeah.
the time, but that was a long time ago.
Mhm.
But, yeah, I remember that like it was just yesterday. Well, you know, when that doctor telling me this, and I get to my car and I started blaming God. And I said,
What did you
"God,
say
why
to him?
me?"
What did you say to him?
I said, I've tried to do everything you've asked me to do. I had stopped my drinking,
Mhm.
stopped all my bad habits. I was back in the church, and I was
Mhm.
getting stronger and praying. And I'm thinking why me? I've done everything you asked me to do.
Right.
But not knowing, why not you? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Why
Mm-hmm.
not you? After I got through crying and blaming him and going through all that, you know, something hit me, you know. Something said, you're not going to make it without him. So, you know,
Right,
this
right.
is probably the wrong person right now to be really blaming for your cancer. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, you know, like I said, that was just the worst day of my life. I cried, I fussed. I had to go home and face my family with this. You know, it was just one of those things. But like I said, I would not have made it without him.
How did you sit down with your wife at that time? How long did you sit down with her that same evening, or did you have to say, take a breath, let me sit back, and before I say anything, was it a couple of days, was it a week, or did you sit down with her right then and there?
I left the doctor's office, like I said. I had cried and fussed and made a fool of myself in my car. And then, like I say, then I realized that, you know, I needed God. And so I started crying and praying in the car. So when I remember pulling in that driveway, I said, how am I going to do this? You know, I think, you know, it was a long time ago, but I think I just went in the house and just told her that I have something to tell you. That I was told I have breast cancer. And of course, you didn't believe it, you know, but men didn't have breast cancer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They didn't have breast cancer. So, you know, and that was on my mind too. I was asking God, men don't have breast cancer. You know, why would you give me breast cancer?
Yes.
You know? But like I say, God is good though. But I told her this, Chloe, and like I said, you know, she was upset. She cried, but we just prayed, like I said, you know. And then I talked to my mother about it, and she prayed, you know. And as a matter of fact, my mom was so strong during my whole ordeal with this cancer. It just, she never cried in front of me. Okay.
That was her.
As a matter of fact, I remember after I, you know, was through with the cancer and everything, I asked one of her girlfriends about my mom. That why come I never seen her cry and never be upset and that kind of thing. And she said, "Boy, your mama prayed and cried every night. She just didn't tell you."
She didn't tell you. And that's what we do as mothers. We do that.
Oh, she was so strong for me, you know. But like I said, me having breast cancer, at the time when I had it in '98, men didn't have breast cancer. Okay, there was one other black man that had it. I think it was Roundtree, Richard Roundtree. He had it, so it was like just the two of us that in this area, California, I guess, were the only two men who had breast cancer. My problem was I had no support team. I had no one to really, you know, talk to about it because I'm a man.
Because men, no, and we as women that dealt with breast cancer still probably wouldn't have known how to talk to you about it because you're a male. I guess I don't know.
They sent me to the mammogram office. Okay, that was the experience. Okay, so I'm sitting in the office. I'm sitting out in front there. There's about 20 women out there. You know, so they're all looking at me. You know, and say, "Sir, do you know where you at?" Yes, I do.
Quite
so
well.
It became like, you know, oh, they were just, you know, they were overwhelmed, and I was overwhelmed about it. And everybody was like, men don't have breast cancer, but yes, they do. You know, yes, they do. So like I said, I had no support. So like wherever I went, there was always women, but no men. You know what I'm saying? So like I say, is I had the chemotherapy.
How did you deal with the chemotherapy?
That was the problem. The cancer was bad, but that chemo, oh my God. Because back in '98, they had little pills they gave you, but like, you was sick all the time. I was sick day and night. You know, it was that chemo that really got me. You know, I'd rather have, I would really have, but it wasn't the cancer. It was that chemo, that being sick every day. Couldn't eat, you know, throwing up. It was crazy. It was crazy. It was crazy.
As you were going through that every day, what mindset did you have? You had at this point you had stopped blaming God, right?
Oh yeah.
So now,
He was on my side.
now
Now we're in the car talking every day. Folks would pull up to me and say, they probably thought I was crazy, but I'm sitting in my car like he's sitting right next to me, and we're talking every day now. You know, he's giving me strength. We can beat this. We can do this. You know. But yeah, I had changed my whole attitude. You know. And without the prayers of my family and friends and God, I wouldn't have made it, to tell you the truth.
How strong was your wife for you during that time?
She was strong. She had her own issues, you know, because like the continuation of the story later on will be is that the following year she has breast cancer.
I
we'll
remember.
talk about that later. But I'm saying is that she was strong for me. Very, 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 very strong for me. And as a matter of fact, my experience through the whole thing kind of like changed her way of thinking about breast cancer.
Okay.
Because mine went so smooth, and with the whole surgery and all that, you know, it was smooth. So like when she came along and had to go through the same ordeal, it was entirely different.
Okay.
Like we'll talk about that later. But like I'm saying, so but cancer's no joke.
No, it isn't.
It's still here. You know, COVID is here, but
Right.
cancer's still taking people too.
Yeah. Now, did you have to have your breast removed?
Yes, I did.
Did you?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
So you had to go through the same thing as any woman
Right.
that would go through that had breast cancer that had to have their breast taken.
Right.
Now, let me ask you this. What was the stages? How, I mean, was it stage 2, 3, 4? How?
I've got to stage 2, almost 3, but stage 2. When they actually went in and did the surgery, they took out 27 lymph nodes. Okay? The first one was cancerous. The other 26, God took care of that. You know, God took care
Won't he do it?
of that. All the time. He took care of that.
Yeah.
He took care of that. And yeah, it was tough.
So was it just one or both? Did they have to take?
It's just the one.
Uh-huh.
Just the one. And like the men don't need construction because we don't have any like, you know, the tissue or the puffiness of it. Like,
Okay,
It's just
okay.
like, it's just like a little scar there. They took the nipple too from it, but they have a scar there.
Okay. Was it going through the surgery? How difficult was it when you knew you were going to have that breast removed for you?
Again, oh man, it's nothing to me. You know? Seriously.
And
At
you-
the time, I wish I had them both removed at the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, I mean, like I say, is that I had the scar here, but when it healed up, there was just nothing there. But I still have a nipple here,
And nothing there.
and nothing left it there. You know what I'm saying? But besides that, though, you know,
It's amazing to hear you say that, that you would have let them take the other one
Yeah.
as well. And where is it for women? It
different.
leaves, it's really different.
that's part of their, you know,
Their look,
Makeup,
they
look.
make up, yes.
they think
And
it's-
the thing about that is how we as women, and I hear, because I've never dealt with breast cancer, but I've dealt with cancer.
Yeah.
But it's the thing of how we perceive ourselves as looking and how that man will look at us after we're undressed.
Yeah.
That's what we go through,
That's-
women.
that's the thing, though.
So how did you didn't have to go through that. It didn't matter
Yeah,
to
but
you.
still, I still had a scar here.
Uh-huh.
I was self-conscious. I still am today self-conscious of it.
Are you?
Yeah, yeah, to this day. You know, but like I say, is that, but it helped me, Glow, because the next year she would have it.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? It was like, I don't know. Okay, I'll just take
Just,
it.
you know what? This, as I said, this is bring it to the table. Just put it on the table. Just
Yeah.
talk about it.
It was like God said, look here, I'm going to give it to you here, and you got to take care of her. Okay? Because the road's going to be tough. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
My cancer, with her taking care of me, it was no problem at all. I mean, you know, it was, I had aches and pains and suffering and stuff, but it affected me. You know what I'm saying? Is that, I mean, it affected her more than it affected me.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Then when her situation is, the roles change, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because a woman, that's her, you know, her thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but by seeing me first, what I went through, oh, this ain't, I can do that. Look at him, you know,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
got a little scar there, and he's happy, and he's going by his business. you
Right.
know. But like I said, Glow, that's again was traumatic. It was just one of those experiences for me. That,
You know, when you look back over it, we know that God's not going to put no more than we can
Oh,
handle.
yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
So
I got you,
now,
Lois.
yes. So now, listening to you
Mhm.
makes me think that okay, He already knows what we're going to go through.
Oh yeah.
Better than what, because we don't know.
I didn't know.
We don't know. He says, okay, I have 2 of my children here,
Mhm.
and both of my children are married,
Mhm.
and there's going to be some sickness that I'm going to put up on my children. Now, he knew how you were, the buck wild, the whole 9 yards.
You know me. Yeah.
He knew. So I think that he said, I got to work on him first.
And he did.
I have to put something on him
Oh,
first.
he did.
Because if I don't put it on him first, because he already knew he was going to give it to her. He already knew.
Yeah, he knew.
So, because if I give it to her first, he might not take care of her like he's supposed to take care of
There
her.
you go. There you go.
Because I know him.
Yeah.
He'll take care of her, but not like he's supposed to take care of her. So let me do him first to slow him down and to give him some things to go through, so when he comes out of it and I put it on her, he'll know how to take care of her, and he'll be
Right.
there where he's supposed to be there.
Right.
Do you
But
think
again, it's, you know, but again, it's so different than if a man having breast cancer than a woman. What I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
My thing was just, everybody was just so amazed that a man could have it, you know, and how did I get it?
Yeah, because
happened?
when I found out, and when my sister and all of us, and she said, hey, she called me, she said, Ollie, have breast cancer. I said, breast cancer?
Yeah, that's what I said.
No.
Oh, and you know how embarrassed that is to tell somebody I have breast cancer? At the time, what I'm saying is, that,
Yeah,
you know,
for
it was-
coming from a
yeah,
man
yeah,
saying
what
that
you
they,
have breast cancer for. You know how
Yeah.
people sometimes will just take things and run with them. I try to
and they do it, they still do
That's what
it. They
you-
do it now.
yeah,
you
do it
know.
now, though, you know, but
But back then,
oh,
early
it was different.
90s,
It was different then because men didn't have breast cancer.
it was different. You didn't hear about it,
Didn't hear
and it
about
was cancer was so on the horizon, so high for women, the cancer period. So when someone says, hey, a man, come on, no, they don't get
It's
that.
not a death sentence.
No, it doesn't have to be.
It's not a death sentence. And men have to go to the doctor. They gotta go, unless they'll never know.
Let me ask you something. Were you a person that always went to the doctor to look after yourself, to check yourself? Or
you know, my daughter Wendy, she made me go to the doctor all the time. So she makes sure Dad go to the doctor. So I kind of like most men, if it ain't there, I ain't gonna worry about it.
Right.
Because that nodule I had on my breast then, that should have been addressed at the first time it happened if I had been more persistent of it. But I didn't want to go back. You know what I'm saying? I allowed them to let me believe that it was nothing. And it's in my body growing. You know what I'm saying?
So did you get more than one opinion, or did you just stick with that one doctor?
Okay. Now, they tell me I have cancer, blah, blah, blah. Now, they tell me they want to give me the surgery, but it's going to be 6 weeks. So I went to UCLA, where I worked at. They tell me probably a month or two, or nobody really wanted to do the surgery, because this is in my body now. Okay, this cancer, we have played with this for a whole year. They want to do nothing with it. So the longer I'm taking, wasting on this cancer, I freaked out. So Kaiser at the time was known as Killer Kaiser. He's always talking, go to Kaiser, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
So I said, God, I started praying to him, and I just felt he told me, take care of that right now. So Kaiser said, we can do it for you in 6 days, I think. So I said, you can have it. You can have the surgery.
Do you think that the doctors was baffled? Because now they're dealing with something. They're seeing something. This is not a female. This is a male.
Yeah.
So we can kind of wait here. Let's wait and take some steps here and some steps there, and let him come back, and let's see.
That could have been the case. I don't even know, because at the time, like I'm telling you, men didn't have breast cancer. Everything that I got was for women. You know what I'm saying? It's like
so everything, the pamphlets, everything, the information,
everything was for women, but nothing for a man, because men didn't have breast cancer. The books. Females. I didn't get no book. They had all kind of books for women. Breast.
I wonder, do they have that now? I wonder about what now?
Yeah, they have more of it now.
Okay.
Yeah, they have more of it now. At the time, like I said, I was at Kaiser, and one of the nurses, and they had got together with me, and they wanted to make sure that this wouldn't happen again, as far as they'd be more aware of men having breast cancer. But like again, you don't really hear about that much still. I don't really hear about that much.
You don't. So. And there was no support group for you to go to.
Oh no.
Not unless you went into a support group for female. But,
but
again, back then they still didn't have support groups, because they were still trying to find their way.
Yeah, I'm already dealing with the fact that I have cancer, and now tripping on breast cancer, where it's more involved now. But like I say though, that chemo was really that's the tough part for people. I think that's the chemo. Getting through chemo, and I didn't have to have radiation, thank God.
Oh, well, that's a good thing. So they only just now. How long were you on chemo?
Oh, I think about 4 months.
Wow.
Every week, it'd take a week for me to calm down. But I remember sitting in that chair. They had like one big blue thing that was ice cold, one red hot, and they put it in my veins so I could feel that heat and that cold going through my whole body. Back then, it was pretty crazy. The chemo, how they treated people with chemo, because you throw them up every day, and it was
right.
a mess.
Now let me ask you this, because we go through this. Did you lose your hair?
Oh, another thing. Yeah, I'm in the shower one morning, and I look down. All my hair is gone. My head, under my pits, my whole body.
Really?
Shower was full of hair. My hair just came out just like that for some reason.
Did they tell you that it was going to come out?
Oh, they told me that. The chemo was strong anyway. Chemo was strong chemo. It takes everything away from you. Takes everything. It's tough though. It's tough.
Now I had chemo. My first bout with cancer, I only had radiation because it was in the chest wall.
Well, that's
I only had radiation.
You had chemo then?
but then I had chemo when it came to when I had the amputation,
Okay.
and they found out it was cancer. But now, my doctor says your hair's gonna come out. But I didn't want to wait to see it come out, and I didn't want to be like you. I'm in the shower or whatever, and then so I went on and had mine cut. I went on to the boss, just cut it, okay. And when I had the first day that I went to have the chemo, I did get sick. Okay, I got sick. But then what my doctor wound up doing, he wound up giving me my meds, some meds and stuff before they did before they ministered the chemo. And once he gave me certain meds, when he ministered that chemo, I never got sick again.
Really?
I never got sick anymore.
I didn't have all that. They didn't tell me all that.
But it's probably, I guess, since it was back then, they were still trying to figure out. But still now, there's still a lot of people get sick with chemo. Chemo still is still.
Who I've talked to who've had chemo, you know, it's just better now.
Yes.
Because I have a friend of mine that she had chemo, and I'm telling you, nothing, no problems at all. So I guess it depends on the individual.
And it depends on, I guess, the type of cancer that you have. As to what
your immune system, the pain you can tolerate.
Right.
And men can't tolerate pain.
Well, yeah, we know that. And then too, it also depends on, like I said, the type of chemo that you have. It's the type of the type of medicine that they're going to give you, the type of chemotherapy that they have to give you for that particular type of cancer.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it was, how long did you? Let me ask you something. You had a pity party to extent.
Yes.
To extent.
Yes.
But you came out of one pity party because you came out of that to know that, okay, why not me? Yeah. But I want to know about that other pity party because you had another one. When you look at it, you had another feel of what my life now is going to be about. Why, you know, hey,
you're talking about after the surgery?
After the surgery.
Or before I had the surgery.
You had a little pity party with yourself before the surgery?
I had pity parties.
Yes. I want to know about those.
You know, well, like, you know, I mean, like, I felt hopeless. I felt like, because at the time, back in the day, cancer was death. Mm-hmm. So cancer's death. I'm at Kaiser, and so, like I'm saying is that, you know, all I had was God. All I had was God. But like I'm saying is the devil is so busy. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then, like I say, the cancer never hurt me. It's that chemo that got me. Okay? Mm-hmm. There'd be nights, Glory, I have to on the wall, sleep on the wall. I couldn't sit down.
Really?
I would stand up on the wall, pillow on the wall, all night because I couldn't, so much pain. And I'd be getting so sick. I remember one time I said, God, you know, take me. I can't handle this. It was just eating my stomach up, you know. I already had acid reflux.
Yeah, we know that. We know that ain't no joke.
Now we have chemo to do with the acid reflux. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, whoa, you know. But I got through it though. You know what I'm saying?
But you were fighting both of those.
Oh yeah, I was fighting both of those. Oh yeah. Every day fighting both of those. Because like, okay, I get the chemo, then it take me 4 or 5 days to come down from the chemo. So now it's time for another chemo. So I'm saying by the time I got myself together.
It's that acid reflux was kicking in.
Acid reflux. I couldn't work, what I'm saying. It's like a lot of people go have chemo and they work. I couldn't work.
How long were you off from work?
4 months.
Okay.
4 months. Mm-hmm. 4 months, you know. But
when you came out of that pity party with yourself, that was during the time right after you had the surgery. Mm-hmm. Before you had the surgery, when you know you was getting ready to go into surgery, what kind of feeling, what kind of pity party did you have with yourself? What was that feeling like? Because now I'm getting ready to face them getting ready to take.
And not knowing what the consequence is going to be or what they're going to find in there.
Once they go in there.
Once they go in there.
And then after they go in there.
Well, I had a doctor who, like I said, he was tough. So he didn't play with me. So I went in there doing that, you know. I mean, I come out of it. You know, I remember I'm laying there getting ready to go to surgery. My wife over there crying and everything, and I'm telling myself, well, I'm gonna give it to God. He got me this far. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's gonna be all right. Like I said, my mama was so strong, never cried.
Oh, honey, Nellie was a strong praying woman.
And my father, he was always tough, be the man. He's kind of breaking a little bit now too, though. And so it's really in my mind now. You can die from this. You may not wake up from the surgery. They may go in there and find something and just everything blow up.
Right, it just spread.
Because I'd heard that before too. When they, go in there and do that. But I prayed hard and I just closed my eyes and God is good. God is good.
And I always ask this question because you knew about prayer. Your mother was a praying woman. And, and so if you were not a believer,
good question.
If you did not know the Lord at all,
yes,
and you had not given up the things that you gave up, how would you have dealt with it?
Well,
and would you have dealt with it?
Well, that's the reason why I think he put me through all the things that I went through to deal with what I dealt with. You see what I'm saying? Is that like if I hadn't went through, all those things that I went through, like you were saying, I wouldn't have been able to help my wife really go through things that she was going through, and my own personal things that I was going through. But I needed that. I needed that knock in the head. I needed that,
that wake up.
Trust in God. You gotta trust God.
But you knew about him though.
I knew about him.
But what happened if you had not known about him? If you didn't know about him and you had not given up, not given up the things?
Never would have made it. Okay. Because I'm telling you, once I was strong and I was going to church every Sunday and praying hard, and I really, he had me so strong when he gave me the cancer. Or when I caught the cancer. What I'm saying about that I wouldn't have made it because, I needed him.
Were you going to church strong?
Yes.
Before all this happened?
That's why I was so mad at him.
Okay.
It's like, you've brought me here and now you're going to take my life away? I couldn't understand that. Why are you doing me like this, God? I've done everything you tell me to do. I've done everything. And now you want to just give me this here. But without that glow, without that, him building me up for that, I could not have gotten through what I went through with my cancer and my kidney.
Now, were you ready to give up the things that you were doing, the lifestyle that you was living, the things you were already ready?
I had changed.
You had changed. Yeah. Were you ready to change when the change happened? Because sometimes we ain't ready.
But that's
there was something
from
that was
show
that was okay, and we'll come back with that too. It's sometimes we are doing things, and something happened to make us change.
Yeah,
something happens. Okay, because I'm a firm believer, and I just said this to someone the other day. Matter of fact, yesterday. Warning before destruction. It comes.
Right.
And sometimes when the warning comes, we just ignore it.
I did.
Just ignore it.
We all do. I'm stronger than that. You know what I'm saying? I knew my lifestyle before I changed. But what I'm saying is, my big thing was, why are you doing me this way now? Not knowing that if I hadn't did you that way now, then you wouldn't be prepared for what you're about to go through. Because what you're going to go through now, I needed God.
And you needed him in order to deal with your wife's sickness when it came upon her.
And my own problems, and my own issues. You know what I'm saying? Is that? Because, I brought it upon myself, I felt.
Did you?
My lifestyle is stress. When you stress, you tear your body up. You know what I'm saying? Is that?
Were you stressed from the job? Because or just stressed from things?
It was me, just my own just growing up.
Your own stress, you brought things upon your own self.
Like we all do, like most men do. I felt, I never thought I'd get cancer, and then breast cancer too. You know what I'm saying? So like I say, is that I went through so many different emotions. The whole thing was just, But then, like I say, is that once they go in there and have the surgery, and I guess they took out 27 lymph nodes, and that first one they said was full of cancer, and the rest of them were just fine.
It was just that one.
But remember this now: lymph nodes will contain the blood. It goes all over your body. If I had to wait maybe another month or so, I wouldn't have made it.
You would, okay.
Because the cancer, no, it's just spreading.
Started to
all over
spread.
my body. But I got it in time, you know.
And you went only because you were feeling bad.
Yeah.
More
the first time I went, I just, you know, and my wife and my daughter said, "Go to the doctor," you know.
Because prior to that, you weren't going to the doctor. Prior to that, you weren't going to the doctor.
Not like I should
have
go.
been. Okay. Like most men.
Especially black men.
Yeah.
And black men that don't have a woman with them, a lot of times, they really don't go to the doctor then.
Right, right.
Us as ourselves, we need to go to the doctor. But then again, though, you know, some doctors, you know how we are brainwashed, how we went through as black people with how they tested us and gave us this and this and that.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
yes.
But God gives you wisdom, though.
Yeah, and you have to get beyond
And
that.
so, like, you got to make the balance of, you know, you got to use wisdom. You know, you got to use wisdom.
So now, how often do you go to the doctor? Or are you still under your cancer doctor?
Oh,
or
no,
anytime
they
you're-
cut me loose.
They
girl.
cut you
Like
loose.
I said, he told me, I'll give you maybe a year or so, you know, a year or two. And that was like 21 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So they cut me about 10 years ago. They told me, you know, you're straight. Whatever you get after 10 years, it's yours, what I'm saying is that. Okay, my life expectancy then, back then, was 5 to 10 years. That was it. And that was 21 years ago. And that's all because of God.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying is that? All because of God.
And two, you listened at that particular time to go because you know something was feeling a little off in your body.
They put me off 7 months now, remember, because the knot was there when I went there the first time to the doctor's office. And he felt my breast. I don't have breast cancer. He didn't say that at the time. He didn't know anything. But he says, "Oh, you're fine."
So, were you in the shower or something when you felt it?
Yeah.
You know, it was just something.
It was growing, but not fast. Because see, cancer is slow. You know what I'm saying? You can have cancer, sometimes prostate cancer, all your life. What I'm saying, it just depends. But my cancer, it was just slow. It wasn't like it didn't hurt.
Okay.
It was just irritable. You know, I felt something there. It didn't hurt. You know, it wasn't something sore or sticking out. Nothing. It was just something that was in there that didn't feel right to me.
Did you wake up one morning having that feeling? Yeah. Did you wake up and all of a sudden there was a feeling there strange?
No,
Because the night before was it not there? How did that feeling
It was
come
like
upon?
one morning I says, ain't nothing. I left it alone. Week or two later, ain't nothing.
But still no pain.
Never no pain. Just it was irritating me, but never no pain. It was like a little knot, you know, like a little knot in there. And then when the doctor says nothing, so I'm saying, okay, if he says nothing, then I'm gonna say it's nothing. Until the time was, you know, something ain't right here.
Did you ever ask Shirley?
Yeah.
Touch it, feel it.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
did it
Wendy
move?
too.
And Wendy's daughter, did it move?
I don't
when
know.
you when you touch it, just
it was
something there.
but it was, you know, nothing for us to be alarmed about, you know. And I wasn't alarmed about it till I went to that surgeon and he did that biopsy. And then he called me and says, "This thing here was just full of cancer." And he says, "You may have a year to live. Go home, get your stuff in order." I'll never forget that day, boy. I was so mad. I was just burning up, girl. I just blame God for everything.
When he told you to go home and get your stuff in order, and you went to your car and you were sitting in your car, did you ever think, you know what? I gave up all of this that I was doing, and now you didn't put this on me. I'm going back. I'm going back to what I used to do. I'm going back.
No.
Did you ever?
No,
think
because that cancer scared the heck out of me, you know.
they said, hey, okay, you ain't got but a year to live.
Everybody else, though. Who else am I turning to?
You know, you ain't got but a year.
You ain't got nobody else.
You ain't got but a year. So hey.
Only one person could cure me at that time, who I knew of, and that was God. After I had to act a fool in a car, me going off on him was just that one day. That didn't happen no more. Okay, just that when I got to my car, I remember I slammed my door. I sat there for a second. I said, "Really, God, you gonna do me like this? You know, I didn't did everything you told me to do. I'm going to church. I'm just a good boy now. And you gonna just give me cancer?" How dare you give me cancer? I don't believe this. I was just so mad at him. Not knowing that, yes, because I have some more battles for you to fight. I'm just preparing you for the war. Everything happens to us is for a purpose and a reason. You know, look at the hand you dealt with. That's your hand. Either you play it or you lay it down and just walk away and don't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But you got to do something in life. You know, because like life is short.
Okay? That it is.
And the world ends when you die. That's because it's over. You know, right. None of this is anymore. So like I'm saying is that I was so mad at God for just doing this to me, not realizing that I got more than 1 year to live, you know, and He's given this to me. Everything now is a blessing to me, you know.
Hearing that 1 year.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy. That's scary.
Hearing that 1 year,
Scary.
Go home and get your affairs in order.
Yeah. But I asked him, I said, Doc, well, am I going to die? You know what he told me? Am I going to die? He said, people die from plane crashes every day, car crashes. Yeah, you're going to die. That's what he told me. I said, well, how long do I have? A year, 2 years? Yeah, a year, 2, 3, I don't know.
Unconcerned. Hey, I mean, that's another one that I can tell that he's going to die.
But he was, you know, I needed that to glow. And let me tell you this real quick, too. This is funny, too. So after the surgery and stuff here, you know, so it's time for my first checkup. It's time for my first checkup. So I go to the doctor's office. I ain't showered in a week. Okay, I got this robe on. I'm just a mess. And my wife was in a wheelchair rolling me to the doctor's office. And he looked at me. He says, "Did you have surgery on your breast?" Yeah. I said, "Yeah." "Why are you in a wheelchair? You know, you need to go home, take a shower, and cut all this mess out. You know." And he just made me just realize that, you know, stop feeling sorry for yourself now.
That's that pity party I was talking about.
Yeah. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. That's the one I was talking about. After surgery, I felt sorry for myself.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about.
Oh yeah, it was. I was a mess, girl.
Yeah. Hold that thought. I want to send a shout out right now to all my listeners, and I'm going to ask if we can hear a little bit of her mystical journey. Yeah. And I asked to hear that because I want to send the shout out to Lehman Scott, the young man that wrote that song. He's so talented, and he's just a man that all you do is just call him up and tell him what you want and some ideas, and he'll come and put it together for you. So if you want something for yourself, I recommend you check Mr. Scott out. And I'm going to give you his website. I'm going to spell it for you because he spells it just a little bit different. It's Less Word Music, which is LESWORMUSIK Productions.com. Check him out, because I'm telling you, I just was turned on to him, and I called him and said that I wanted to do a podcast, but I wanted some music. And he says, well, tell me a little bit about yourself. And I did. And he says, okay, call me back in a couple of days. And I did. And he had 2 or 3 songs that he had come together with. And when I heard that one, I said, this is it. And it has grown on me tremendously. So I want to say, Lehman, thank you so much. And I know things are going well because I've had a couple of people call me and ask me for your number. And I know you're going to do them right. So again, thank you so much. And also I always want to send a shout out to Mr. Glenn Gamble, the young man that has his own auto detailing business and doing quite well. And if you want that car looking good, if you want that ceramic coating on your car, I suggest that you give him a call at area code 626-328-0435, or either go to the website and you can check him out. And it's eatdetailing.com, and that's EATDETAILING.com. Check him out. You won't be disappointed in his work. Again, check Mr. Gamble out. And I'm also going to say to my listeners, I need you. I need you. I need you to support J. Lynn All-American Amputee Foundation. And I need you to support the foundation because I'm out here trying to help those to get prosthetics. And it's very difficult. It's very hard. Insurance don't pay a lot because they feel it's cosmetic surgery. But I think everybody needs a chance to be able to walk again, whether it's with a prosthetic or not. I think they need to be able to walk. And yes, because I think that's the reason why I have the foundation, and I'm trying to help those. And I'm just asking you, be their arms, be their legs, so that they can be able to get around and be able to get back acclimated into life so that they can feel good about themselves. Go to my website and push that button and donate so that you can sponsor someone. And I don't just deal with adults, I deal with children as well. And that's JLYNAAA Foundation.org. Go and check it out and see all the things that I'm doing and all the things that I offer. And again, help me out. Help me help those, okay? Because they need it. And when you see someone in a wheelchair with no legs, it's because 9 times out of 10, they can't afford the prosthetic. Okay? And they deserve to be able to walk again. You may see somebody with no arms. They deserve to have it. So help me out. There you go. And I want to get right back to him again. So go ahead, finish telling me about that, because that hour is getting short.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Where were we at?
You didn't forget? Did that mess up your brain?
Yeah, I was listening to you, so I had stopped.
Tune that out. But yeah, as the doctor was saying, for you to get out of that wheelchair.
Oh yeah,
and go back.
Yeah, the doctor he talked so bad about me, so I went home and I got in the shower, girl. Mm-hmm. Got my clothes on. I marched back in there, and like I say, that's when it first started. Then the chemo came. That's the second part of it.
And I'm quite sure it was devastating to Shirley. That was your wife, and Shirley was a good person. And
yeah, she didn't make it. You know that.
I know.
Year, she had breast cancer.
Right, I remember. And but she fought a good fight. Oh, yeah. For a long time. She fought a good fight. But I'm quite sure it was a lot on her to see you go through that, because you were the first man, as we know, it was in the history, because didn't they do a write-up on you in the Sentinel and a couple other papers?
Had one in, Times or some papers.
Yeah, because it was never heard of.
Oh, really?
It was never heard of. So she had all that on her too, and to be able to be strong to help you go through it, and to see you go through it, and to see the stress on your face of going through this, and here something is put on me as for the first time the world to hear of a man having breast cancer. So it's a lot that you went through.
We have egos,
Of course.
Tough.
Of course. So it was a lot for her, and then to see for your kids, for Wendy and Jason, I'm quite sure they were devastated and trying to understand.
Man. Tell me about it.
Trying to understand.
Yeah.
What is this that my dad is going through?
Yeah.
What is this? This man can get this? My dad?
Yeah.
So Shirley had to deal with not only her husband, but she had to deal with her kids too.
Oh, yeah.
With them trying to. So it was a lot. And then you had the stress of dealing with something that was given to you, as well as still trying to be the man.
Tell me about it.
Of the house, still trying to be that husband, trying to be all of that in the midst of those cracks and crannies, as if I can say that's what those old folks would have said. In the midst of all of that, and still coming out of it, still not knowing if you was going to be here today to tell it.
Oh, really? Oh, yes. Because, after the cancer, I had that acid reflux so bad.
Yeah.
That could have just took me to that's just life, though.
Yeah. And a lot of times after you've gone through, people that has had cancer and gone through the radiation, gone through the chemo, they may be okay for maybe a year, 2 years, but after that, they're gone.
Oh, yeah.
They're gone. So I'm quite sure you still had some thoughts in the back of your mind.
Still do.
Yeah. Is it going to come back?
Still do. Yes, because I would tell myself, could you go through that chemo again? I say no, but I would have to do it.
Yeah.
But I always said no. I would just go ahead and just die.
then
That's
you
how
have
bad it is.
yeah, and then but if you had to do it now, the situation would be a whole lot different because you're by yourself now.
Oh yeah. Everything by yourself.
You're by yourself now. You don't have that wife now. You
Couldn't
know.
have my team with
And
me.
you don't have that team.
You need that team.
Mom and dad and wife, all that
I need
strong.
every one of them.
It's yeah.
Every one of them.
Yeah.
Every friend I had, every prayer I got, my prayer warriors.
Yeah.
I needed all that. It takes that.
You take
It takes that.
yeah.
takes
But
something.
guess what? I'm here.
Oh yeah, I know you are.
I'm here.
You've always been there.
Yeah,
I know that.
yeah.
And you've had a lot of battles yourself. But like I say, is that this cancer, the story about this cancer, it just doesn't stop. It just in my life, what I'm saying is 'cause what I went through. Because remember now, after having my surgery and I'm back at working now, Shirley gets the cancer the next year.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay, and we have the same doctor, and the doctor thinks it's a mistake. Okay, the doctors fussing at them. It's no, sir, it's his wife. They couldn't believe it. How this mine's on the right side, hers on the left side.
Wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
but again though, I don't know, it's something in our life that we did, but what happened. But I know that cancer hit us hard.
Yeah, and it's scary because even with me, I'm a 3-time cancer survivor,
No,
but
you glow.
still,
What you've been through. My
yeah,
sister,
but
I'm
it's
telling
still, and I think, hey, okay, is it gonna come back?
Oh,
You
I
know,
heard that.
and the type I had this last time, a fibrosarcoma, which is found in children.
I know.
Now I'm beginning to find in adults, and I just know with nobody but the Lord that gave me the doctor that I have, because the doctor, my cancer doctor, was the doctor that when the fibrosarcoma came in children, he was on the staff and was one of the medical doctors on the team to help save children that dealt with that. So what he did when he saw it in me, he treated me as if I was a child.
I hear you.
Won't God do it?
All the
Because
time.
what that tells me, another doctor probably wouldn't have known how to treat
They
this
wouldn't have,
because
no.
they had never seen this.
No, they wouldn't have.
So that's the reason why I tell him every time. I say, I know you ain't through with me yet.
Awesome. Let's say one more thing about this cancer. Your diet.
Yes.
You gotta eat right. And we don't do that.
Yeah, because we all are born with the cancer genes.
Right.
We all
But you
are.
gotta
But it's just that it comes out.
diet.
Yeah. It does.
Salt, sugar, all those things. It's
Yeah.
a part of it. So.
Yeah. So, it's just that we just have to be blessed, stay blessed, stay in that word.
Take care of your temple.
Take care of your temple. And it tells you,
God gave it to you, but you are responsible for it.
You are.
Okay.
You
If you
are.
don't water that body, if you don't rest that body, do what you're supposed to do, it will fail on you.
Before we leave, because we're almost out of time,
Okay.
I want you to look in that camera,
Yes.
and I want you to tell the men, or even if they're the wives or the girlfriends are listening, listen. What would you tell them to tell their significant other or their husband or their friends or any of the males? Period. What would you tell them?
First of all, go to the doctor. You gotta trust your doctor. You gotta eat well. You gotta rest, and you gotta go to the doctor. I mean, you just have to. I mean, we don't like to do that. I hate going to the doctor, but you gotta take care of your body. That's the dentist and the doctor. All those tie in. You know what I'm saying? Is that you gotta get your rest. You gotta eat properly. Dentist, doctor, and church. You gotta have belief. You gotta believe in God, because God will pull you through any crisis or thing. You gotta have God in your life.
That's that basic instruction before leaving here. That's the Bible.
That's it.
That's what it's called.
That's
the
it.
basic
I
instructions
can tell you
before
that.
leave here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Well, I am so glad that you joined me
Oh, I
tonight.
enjoyed it.
And I've learned something, because like I said, I never knew that men can get this.
Yeah. I got it. I know.
And right now there's probably a whole lot of men out there.
I hope I've helped tomorrow.
Yeah,
and
that's
enlighten them that it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Men do get it, and it's embarrassing, because of our egos, in our bodies. But you got to get past that.
But you know what? If nothing else, that don't stick. this. We all go through that. We embarrassed about our look.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't have anything to do with the men having it, because women go through that.
Yeah, I know.
That's just something
it's one of
that
those
we
things.
deal with,
Yeah.
you know. But as they say, this too shall pass,
Oh yeah.
you
It's
know,
gonna pass.
and stay strong. But you look good.
Thank you. I feel good.
You look good. And you
this
know
COVID
what?
thing is that I've had all my shots, my
Good.
booster and everything.
Oh, you have? Oh, you didn't beat me on that.
Have to use wisdom, men. Okay.
You do.
Use wisdom.
You do. You do.
You know.
I thank you so much.
I appreciate that.
I
Hope I can
thank
come
you.
back one day, because continue the story, because there's so much more to this
Oh,
cancer
yes.
story.
Oh, yeah. I want
I
you to
ain't-
come back. I
ain't
want you to
tell
come
you
back.
about just so much more.
I want you to come back.
And if I can help anybody, you know.
And that's what this
can
platform is
help
for. That's what this
Oh.
platform is for, is to help those out there. You know,
Sounds
we're giving it to you. Take heed to it. And as I always say on a Friday night, and before I say it, you know, Thanksgiving is coming up.
Hey.
Stop and think what you're thankful for. Because so many people out there don't realize where they are and who they are. But you stop and think how thankful you are. And as
God
I
is
say,
good.
yes, He is. God is good. And
All
it's
the time.
all the time. And as I say, peace, one love.